President Obama has his share of enemies, so does Apple CEO Steve Jobs. But while one is winning more customers for his message, the other has been losing support for his. Maybe that's why the president made a stop in Silicon Valley and met with Steve Jobs. According to White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs, they discussed American competitiveness and education, as well as the economy and technological innovation. It's an exchange you can't afford to ignore if you care about Apple, perhaps if you care about the country. With us this morning, one of the most accurate analysts when it comes to Apple shares, Piper Jaffray analyst Gene Munster. Gene, good of you to join us. I know you've got a quick conference call to go to, but what do you think, if you could have been a fly on the wall in that meeting, what do you think they talked about?
I think more of it was probably about basic stuff than you'd think. It's about Obama saying his girls love their iPods and my staff uses iPads, and I've heard about this app. You know, I would suspect that Obama is an Apple fan, just like a lot of Apple users, which, by the way, Obama, last check, did still use a BlackBerry. So I wonder if there was an offering for an iPhone, likely not at a discount, given Apple's reputation of not discounting the iPhone. But I think that it's a lot more stuff like that. Aside from kind of the soft stuff, I think they did talk about innovation and education, and I wonder if Jobs kind of went through where their best engineers come from and talk about U.S. education and how to promote that in Silicon Valley.
Gene, I don't want to make too much of this, but do you think there is any potential risk for Steve Jobs in kind of aligning himself with the president in this kind of meeting?
Well, he's been aligned with political parties in the past, and so he's supported different candidates, typically Democrat candidates in the past, and so I don't think that there's any risk with that. And I think at the end of the day is that probably any time you get a chance to meet with the president, I think that it's probably quite flattering even for Steve Jobs.
No doubt, no doubt. Although we should know that the president went to see Jobs as opposed to Jobs coming to the White House. One thing I want to ask you, Robert Gibbs, the White House press secretary, said they talked about job creation. You have to wonder whether there was any tension in that conversation, because I think of what happens every time I turn over an Apple product that says designed in California, made in China.
Definitely. I think that that's the elephant in the room, what's going on the production side. But that issue is so big, I think that trying to shift those wins is going to be virtually impossible. I think more on the education side and innovation side is probably what the meeting focused on. Also keep in mind that Obama is Apple's biggest customer. About 10% of Apple sales come from U.S. education, and obviously Obama is the chief of education, and so there's also that factor. As this is a customer call for Jobs.
A quick question before we go, Gene. The president could frankly use every little bit of magic on the way to the midterms he can muster. What do you think he might have wanted to take away from Steve Jobs? You know Jobs, you know his genius. What is it that the president might have walked away with?
I mean, Jobs is a marketing genius. He's probably the best marketer in the world. I don't know if you can give someone in 45 minutes a crash course to help change elections in 2 weeks, but there could have been some political positioning that Jobs could have helped Obama out with.
All right. Well, Gene, I have no doubt this is going to come up in your morning conference call there at Piper Jaffray. Gene Munster joining us this morning on the Obama Jobs Summit.